Hi everyone, this is Raul.
This is Alex.
This is Parker.
And we are CosplayFame. You can find us on social media at
CosplayFame. That comes out so good. I love doing that.
I love it. It's like when you perfectly sync your Bluetooth with anything you have on.
It's like in sync.
Oh man, it's make you want to say baby bye bye bye.
It's gonna be like that picture of the April calendar, and at the bottom you have a picture of Justin Timberlake, and it's like it's gonna be May. It's
gonna be May.
Every little thing. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Well, Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
We are officially in 2017. I know we haven't put out any new content in a while, but we are in the new year. We are in the first day of the presidency of Donald Trump.
Oh yeah, you're right. You know,
was yesterday.
It's funny because I'm like,
well, it was inauguration yesterday. This is the first actual day of the presidency.
And this is something that I think people, just a tangent, people need to remember. Like, I woke up, paid my bills, got online, literally nothing changed.
America's still America. I don't like going like political anytime on this, but really quick, Warren Buffett actually came out and said yesterday that we don't need to worry about Donald Trump. He basically said in an interview that don't worry, there are puppeteers behind the stage that are really pulling the strings. I'm like, thank you, Warren Buffett, for letting me know that there is an Illuminati out there.
Now I can see peacefully in my bed.
Freemasons. Well, we're digressing way too much. Guys, so it's the beginning of the new year. That means that new things are coming out this year. Which is something we want to talk about. Those things are things that we consistently have fun with and consistently do things with, and those things.
Not our girlfriends?
Not our girlfriends.
Anyways.
Ooh, you got a hole in my heart.
My girlfriend's in Orlando. Anyways. I think the word we're looking for, video games.
Video games. Juego de video. Is that how you say in Spanish?
Juego de videos, yeah, for our
Videos?
Spanish speakers. And for our non-Spanish speakers, that's video games with an accent.
There you go.
But one of the topics we definitely wanted to talk about today was, well, to start off with, 5 games, or at least 5 games.
We were just going to work on just video games because video games is a big part, not only of cosplay. I would actually probably say almost the majority of cosplay is video games.
Good chunk of it.
Good, like at least a third or something of it is video games, especially when you talk about like last year with Overwatch, with...
Dear God, I'm just
there was
tired
a lot
of the DVA or Diva, like
Tracers, Black Widows, Widowmaker, excuse me, not Black
Widowmaker, yeah. Just pretty much anything that gave you an excuse to like put on skin tight. And not that I'm complaining. As a man, I don't want to sound hypocritical. As a guy, there's never going to be a point in time I'd be like, oh, God, she's wearing a skin-tight suit showing everything. I'm appalled. I don't want to see this anymore. Put it away. I'm never going to go like that. No. But at some point, it does get annoying. Like, you know.
It's a little...
It's too much.
I mean, earlier last year, of course, there was a Harley Quinn craze that happened. And we started seeing that more with Outreach. Street Fighter got a lot of love because Street Fighter 4 or 5 came out last year, correct?
5.
5 came out last year.
5, definitely.
So we know that cosplayers out there, they love video games. All cosplayers love video games. We all love representing the avatar of whatever video game character we played. And I think that's the reason why cosplay and video games are so akin to each other, or so like almost akimbo to each other.
Yeah, because you can cosplay pretty much as anything, and one of the things that we love, nerds and geeks love the most, is video games, whatever genre that is.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, when you're playing a video game, you're playing yourself as an avatar in that world. So.
Yeah. Yep. So while talking about video games, we were talking and reminiscing about just games that we loved in our past. There are going to be certain consoles that we're going to talk about heavy in this podcast, but let's start off. What's some video games that you remember from your past, Parker, that you loved playing when you were a kid?
So, for the 5 that I'm mentioning, again, that you're going to notice is a reoccurring pattern of Nintendo titles. One that wasn't specifically... I played on the GameCube. It wasn't... like, what do they call it, an exclusive? It wasn't an exclusive. I'm starting at the bottom, working my way up. But the first one is Blood Rain. There's a movie done on that one, which we'll get into later, which hurts me personally.
Oh, it hurts me.
Blood Rain 1 and 2. Basically, for those of you who aren't familiar with the game, you're playing as a half half human, half vampire girl named Rain. They call him Dampier. And you start off in the first game, the cutscene. If everyone watches the cutscene because it helps you understand the. No gamer that I know skips the first cutscene.
Yeah.
Before even the game starts. So basically, she's hunting for her father. Basically, the guy who pretty much raped her mother, killed her mother's family, and then boop, out came Rain. So she's hunting for him, and in between that, the game takes place where she's hunting Nazis, which is always fun.
Yeah.
There's never going to be a time, any game, that you're not going to enjoy hunting down Nazis. Because it's like you're killing people in like ways that you'd probably go to prison for the rest of your life because she can't die. But like it's a Nazi, so you're like, oh, this isn't bad. They got what's coming to them. It's okay. So you're killing Nazis. So that's my first pick.
Yeah.
Alex,
that's something. Blood Rain came out at a time where I think that vampire scene was growing so big, not only in video games but in movies.
Yeah, Queen and the Damned.
Queen and the Damned and Blade came out around that time. But also Castlevania was still super prevalent.
Interview with a Vampire.
Interview with a Vampire was still pretty prevalent. I'm forgetting there was another vampire game. I think Soul Reaper. So with Kane was a bad guy. I'm trying to remember.
That I don't remember. There again,
I think that one you were a ghost or something.
Or you were a ghost, but it was like you were based on being a vampire as well.
But yeah, that movie that did not. They made 2.
Which one, Blood Rain?
Blood Rain. They made 2.
Yeah. We'll talk about that soon.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately.
But yeah, I love that game. I mean, and I recently because there was Blood Rain 1 and 2. Now, unfortunately, 2 wasn't on GameCube.
Yeah.
So it's only on Xbox and PlayStation 2. But our dearest Diana let me borrow her PlayStation 2, and guess who bought Blood Rain 2 and finally played it recently? Me. It was awesome. It was so much fun.
What's your favorite part about Blood Rain playing it? Is it just like first of all, is it like in a first person or third person view?
It's I don't know. Is fourth person a thing because it's like further back? It's not third person right over the shoulder. We're talking about like from a fourth person kind of like hovering above type person. I think because there's 2 aspects. There's the 2 games are a little bit different. Like the second game has a lot more options and stuff, but not to take too much more time. The first game, one of my favorite things to do, one of my favorite parts of the game is that when you go in slow-mo, everything, like, it's easier, like, you can gratuitously, like, dismember these Nazis with, like, precision. So, like, I once killed a guy just by cutting off, like, the top part of, like, his head. So, basically, I scalped him. Nice. So, just running in slow-mo and dodging bullets and stuff, you're just like, can't touch me. And then taking a shotgun to the face, like,
oh my God.
And pretty much never being able to die because you can feed on people.
Yeah.
2, my favorite thing about 2 would probably be, there's so many more options. Like there was a preset moves in the first one where one would follow the other after, like. Yeah. But this other one, you could kick, you could choose what you want. You had a chain whip, you could toss people into like dangerous objects. It was just a lot more of what I liked in the first game.
Almost sounds like a precursor to God of War a little bit.
There was more. The gameplay wasn't as fast, but I could definitely see there are certain aspects to it that are like a God of War like. Got it. But yeah, that's my first one. So.
Awesome. Alex, what you got, bro?
My first childhood favorite was Spider-Man 2.
Classic.
Man. Yeah. Spider-Man 2 on the PS2, right?
Spider-Man 2 for the PS2. Oh. The reason why I love that one is because it's just like it's an open world for Spider-Man, and you like I remember my favorite thing to do was to just jump off of the top of the Empire State Building. And you see everything just whoosh by, and you're just
catch yourself at the last minute, like, you thought I was gonna die.
Thought I was gonna die.
That was one of the first video games I remember that had the actual stars of the movie voicing in the video game.
Are you serious?
Tobey Maguire voices.
No way! I didn't know.
Yeah,
Again, obviously, I only had a GameCube growing up, so I never played it. I might have to though.
Yeah, it's a badass game.
It is one of the first
great.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard of sandbox or free world games, and it was that one because it was just
it started them because a lot of the other Spider-Man games that came out after that were at least linear. Like Ultimate Spider-Man, where you get to switch between Spider-Man and Venom. Like it also took the free world, roaming and stuff, which is pretty cool.
It's very cool. I love that game. That game helped develop games that were much beloved, like not Mutants and Masterminds. There was like a hero game that used to be online. I forget the name of it.
Oh, City of Heroes.
City of Heroes.
And then they had another version of the City of Villains.
It helped develop those two
played a
games
little
because
bit
both
of
of those were free world. DC came out with their own free world version that was really great.
Really, which one was that?
I think it was DC Online. I forget the name of it.
It was like it wasn't like a console, but it was an online.
It was
PC.
an online
It was a
PC
PC
free
game.
world.
Okay.
game.
I forgot what it was called.
A lot of people loved it.
I think it sounds familiar. I think I wasn't a PC. I didn't have a lot of consoles or PC, but I sounds familiar.
And I can even make the argument that if Spider-Man 2 never happens, Arkham Asylum probably would never have happened.
Well, because it was one of the first games that did that whole open world, in that way.
Or Arkham City, at least.
Well, yeah, Arkham City. But Arkham Asylum was very linear. You know, you had the asylum basically guiding you where to go. Arkham City, on the other hand, it had, you know, it was an open world, so you can just go wherever you want, fight criminals. And
Arkham City, I think, but in consensus, is everyone's favorite version of the Arkham series.
I think so too, because at that point you didn't even have to do the missions. You could kind of just roam around. That's the first time they gave you the option, like you could actually be Batman without having to follow the game, and it gave you that option of like, hey, let's just, because if anything like Skyrim, it's kind of like how many people stop playing the story? I'm only like 1/20th of the story done, but I've ranked them so far.
Done with the story, but
I remember
20 hours.
Just like put in like you put like 2 really fast games in there, but
things I always remember with Alex playing Spider-Man 2. He loved jumping off the Empire State Building. I think you loved getting to the Empire State Building because I felt like you felt it was easier to get to whatever like plot point or whatever.
That's true, because the thing is you jump off the Empire State Building and the physics in that game were really good. So like the speed that you pick up falling,
it makes you go a lot faster.
You go a lot faster
when you first swinging.
All the way to the top, you jump down, and then you swing and you.
Man,
you know,
you're blazing.
I remember one time me and Alex tried to figure out, can we get to the Empire State Building? And you can.
From which point it's like, hey, everyone's.
It was the helicopter or the ferry. I'm trying to remember what we needed to do to get to the Empire State Building. I think you need to get on a helicopter.
I don't know, man.
But those are things I need to remember. That was a great game. I love the gameplay of that. I love the boss fights in that were really, really good. Like I remember
it had pretty much all the entire Rogues Gallery. Yeah, it had Black Cat in it. It had Shocker,
Rhino,
Electro, Rhino,
Scorpion.
Scorpion was in it.
I hate Scorpion. Honestly,
Scorpion was really tough in the game. I remember that.
Yeah. I just hate the character itself. I dislike Matt Gargan. First off, that's such a dislikable name. Like if you actually ever met a Matt Gargan in real life, you'd be like, I don't like that guy. He's got one of those faces.
It sounds like It sounds like a noise you make when you go to the dentist's office. Like,
Gargan. I want you to Gargan. I need you to gargle now or gargle. It's easily exchangeable between the two. Not that he didn't become Venom, and it was like a douche as Venom. So whatever.
Well,
Screw that guy.
You know what? I got one more thing to say.
Go ahead.
Spider-Man 1 for the PS2. I loved beating the game and then getting to play as the Green Goblin. That was fun.
That was pretty cool.
That was fun.
But I just remember
get on the glider, you could go fucking super fast.
I did not know that.
You didn't know that?
No, again, I've never played those games.
Today, actually, we're speaking about this. Today, they just found they unlocked a secret world or a secret entrance in Super Mario Brothers today. That was not found for like 26 years.
No way.
So
what?
yeah, no.
Like the original, like Super Mario Brothers.
I think Super Mario World. Super Mario World. But that's crazy when you think about 26 years it takes people to find like a secret.
Or like
no, at SNES.
No way.
Isn't that crazy? It took 26 years for someone
and it
to
was
find
there
like,
the whole time.
There the whole time in the coding. You had to do the right things.
Wow.
There's a lot of things.
Old games showing you they still got stuff.
When you talk about Easter eggs, there's stuff that people figure out that I wouldn't have never found out.
Yeah, like you literally have to be dedicated to playing.
Yeah, like game. there's one in Sonic, the original game, that if you go to the debug screen and then you put in a certain code, it'll take you to another like weird, creepy screen. But that's it. Like, how did somebody figure that out? You know,
that's a lot of jumping around for Mario. That's what it sounds like to me. So back on topic, Parker. What was the other one?
Number 2 for me was this was an exclusive and a GameCube Nintendo exclusive. It was Metroid Prime 1 and 2. Now, when Metroid Prime 1 came out, I remember playing it in GameStop when I actually still went to GameStop, and they had it as the test demo that you could play. And at the time, the graphics were just whew. And again, this was the first time we'd ever seen up until that point, we've only seen Samus on mobile handheld games.
Yeah.
Flat. We're talking about 6-bit, 8-bit. Anything like that.
Yeah.
Metroid was a classic game. And we're talking about right next to along the lines of we're talking about like Mario and just the way that it was designed. So that was the first time we ever saw her, in all her 3D glory. As a kid, it took me a year and a half, a combination, not all the way straight, but a total of almost 2 years to beat that game because at one point I got stuck. And I was just like, I couldn't figure it out. Like, there's a lot of reading. Another great thing about that game, there's a lot of reading. So as for a kid, you're doing a lot of reading. You're like, so very good. There's a lot of literature in that game and backstory, which is awesome because it's just great. They also had the free world.
Yeah.
You get to explore, a planet. You can free to go wherever you want. I mean, obviously there's bad guys you have to shoot and stuff, but it took me almost 2 years.
Hold on, because you scared me. What did you say you had to shoot again?
Bad guys.
Bad guys.
Bad guys.
Bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mind you, there's this. We're. This is a point in history. Like this is in this game. What you look like literally does not matter because we got aliens and creatures and
no, of course,
ghoulies and beasties. But and then I finally beat it, and it was amazing. I was so happy. And then Metroid Prime 2 came out, and I was like, let's get on it. And I played Metroid Prime 2, beat it. It was a lot harder actually.
Yeah.
I was actually playing it today because I rebought those games because I didn't have them anymore, and I beat them over again. And I'm currently playing Metroid Prime 2 again, and it got stuck for a second.
People consistently tell me how hard Metroid is considered the harder, I think, of the classic NES storylines.
And I would say so because there's their use of puzzles. Like it was one of the first games that required I would say I put it next to Legend of Zelda.
Wow.
I put it when Legend of Zelda, Game Boy Advance, the purple, elongated. Yeah. That's when I played Oracle of Seasons. But I'm talking like that level of puzzles that you have to do. I mean, it is hard. You can easily spend 20 minutes trying to figure out one puzzle to get this weapon that you need to progress in the game. And you're just like, oh, son of a biscuit. I can't get past it.
Let me ask, was Metroid, those Metroids, because that's for the GameCube, correct?
Yeah, they were GameCube exclusives.
Is that the ones that it was first-person view of
Yeah,
Samus?
it was a first-person shooter.
That's insane. I always remember.
First-person shooter, man. That's what I found.
I think he even had a heads-up display. Even
it had the HUD. Basically, everything was like... Again, that's what made it so awesome because you'd never seen it like that. It tells you how many missiles you got, what your life support is. Every time you got near like a dangerous, anything that's danger, whether it be poison, poisonous water, or lava, there's a danger meter that would go up and tell you whether or not you're going to touch something.
Yeah.
There's a map system that it sends you. You can either play the game without the clues, the hints to tell you where to go, which is. I've never done it because it's super hard. I could do it after maybe playing it 3 times and I memorize everything. But after years of not playing, I'm like, screw that. But it's awesome.
Let me ask, when you guys, because it took me a long time to figure this out, when did you guys find out that Samus was a girl? First of all, that Samus was a human and that Samus was a girl.
Oh, well, I knew just because of so I'd never played the games, mobile or the classic Metroid games. So I had a habit as a kid, when you get a new game, you get the pamphlet, and in the pamphlet it has a bunch of kind of gives you an over consensus of the game that you're gonna play and a story that you can read. I would read them, and I'm just that's how I figured it out. I mean, before I even started playing it. So
and you
I figured out when I first played it in Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
that's it.
I figured out I think it was 17. I blew my mind.
Yeah.
To be honest, I always thought Samus was a robot. I never thought he was a human. I never thought it was a human.
And even if you did, you think it was a man because
the shoulders are so ridiculous.
The shoulders are really big, and then on top of that, the name is Samus.
So and on top of that, when we found out she was a woman, and then when they gave her, put her in 3D rendered in Metroid, you found out, oh, she's kind of hot.
Yeah.
And then as they progressed down that line, especially when you got, Super Smash Brothers and such, and especially Brawl, when you get to first, you could play as Zero Suit Samus.
You change skins, right?
Yeah. That and one of her final Smash gets rid of her armor. So she's playing as Zero Suit Samus, which now is an option in the last Super Smash Brothers that you can play. Yeah. And you're like, oh crap, not only is she she's not a robot, she's a human, and on top of a human, she's a girl, and on top of a girl, she's super hot, super hot chick bounty hunter, like beating the crap out of space pirates across the galaxy.
And on top of that, she's really badass.
Yeah.
If you ever play her in Brawl, oh my god,
dude,
so much ass.
The thing that always bugged me about about Sans being human in general, is when you turn into the ball is so small that she turns into. You think it's got to be a robot. It's got to be like something.
So
that falls in the...
so I'm pretty well versed as far as this is concerned, and I don't know exactly how it works.
Watch out. Parker's opening his nerd book.
Okay,
He's
I am
opening his
nerd book. There is in the story in Metroid Prime 1, there is an example like the space pirates, which is her biggest enemy. The space pirates have Kraid and Ridley and all those guys from the classic game. Those are the guys you were fighting. They try to reverse engineer certain parts of her suit, like some of the weapon systems, and you can only damage them by using a certain gun. They also try to reverse engineer her it's called the morph ball.
Yeah.
And basically all their test subjects died.
Well, obviously.
And so basically they're like the R&D department of like, you know, of the space pirates are like, you know what? Maybe we should just move on. Like, let's
crawl. We can crawl.
Let's just skip this bit.
I mean, maybe she's just a contortionist. I mean,
I don't know.
It was the highest peak of alien technology from one of the Chozo, one of the greatest races ever known in that universe. So I'm not going to argue with it. And I think it's super handy. If I could turn into a ball and roll around in small places and blast little bombs and stuff, I'm all about it. But it's a complicated process. Obviously, Space Pirates tried to do it, did not work. They're like, you know what? Let's just skip it. We don't need this.
What you got?
All right, my next one. This is gonna be my Nintendo thing because everything.
Viva Nintendo!
My next one is gonna be Star Wars Pod Racing.
Oh man.
I used to play that so much.
Wow,
man.
dude!
And I would play as what's his name?
As Teamto?
Yeah, Teamto.
Or Sabuba.
Who would race with the screen.
Sabuba always wins.
And I had him so fast, dude, that I would take off in the beginning of the race and nobody would be next to me for the rest of the race.
Yeah.
I think I've only played that game once, but that was on console.
Yeah, it was Nintendo.
I don't think I've
64.
ever. I don't think I've ever played that. Ever.
It's really fun. It's a really good racing game, and it's one of the only racing games where you can go like 1,000 miles an hour.
What console was it on?
64.
No way.
Yeah, man.
Gee, that really tells you how old Phantom Menace is.
Oh yeah.
Phantom Menace is old. I feel
Phantom
I
Menace
got that
is
thing
almost
on
20 years
cassette
old. Yeah.
For a VHS.
One thing I was gonna say about specifically LucasArts and all the games. The one thing I think George Lucas did do right with LucasArts and like ILM and stuff like that is he transferred all that technology and all that money into creating amazing video games.
You're right, because they have other titles that I've played, like Rogue Squadron, where you can play just as the ships and stuff, and they're like dogfights, and then there was Rebel. Like, there's a bunch of games that
Knights of the Old Republic.
That is considered one of the best Star Wars games ever.
In my opinion, one of the best is Force Unleashed.
That
one is.
Unfortunately, it's not canon anymore, but it's still awesome.
Well, that's legacy now, but maybe they used
it. It's still amazing. I've never seen it. At that point, I was just like, it's a good thing he's not canon, because if he was, he'd pretty much be like the most OP, one of the most OP like characters like in the Star Wars universe.
Something I liked about pod racing is the customization of your pods. You got like Teamto, or even if you got Anakin or Sabulba, you could customize. You can speed them up. You can make
so like
less control.
Tune-ups and basically almost like cars. Yeah. Like
Very much.
Cool.
Yeah. I remember you can get more droids that you can get fast repairs and stuff like that, and it was an awesome game. I remember.
So there's in-game repairs while you're racing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. You can shut off one of your engines, like in the movie. You can shut off one of your engines, and they can do like a remote repair.
No way. So kind of like NASCAR, but like basically where they had to do you pit stop and.
Well, no, not exactly. You're still racing.
Okay.
But you shut off one of your engines, it repairs itself, and then you keep on racing.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Hey, man, I'm all about it. That sounds awesome. I could have played.
One of your engines starts putting out black
putting
smoke,
fire and stuff like that.
And then
like in the movie, like
basically you start going like half your speed, and then it just shuts off. It does like a weird sound effect, like, and then it just
basically Anakin repair.
Yeah, basically.
Anakin repair. Like I'm just gonna poke it until it works. I'm just keep
of course, he's gonna use those midichlorians, bro.
I wonder if he closed his eyes like Ray, and then he's like,
I don't want to talk about Rey, man. She's so cheap.
Oh, she's good. Bro.
She's cheap.
Good. Let me tell you.
I feel like they were like, "Hey, we're gonna make the lead character a female, but she's gonna be overpowered for no reason, without any training whatsoever."
I understand. I
Toe-to-toe
understand
with
that
her.
aspect, but I also see the other side. It's just to go on a quick side note. The Force Awakens is way better than I gave it credit for. I think what happened was that everyone, in general, all of us went to Force Awakens with so much hype.
Yeah.
It was the first Star Wars movie come out in almost 10 years.
Yeah.
I
mean, I guess I have to.
I understand the argument though. I'm not saying I'm not.
Yeah,
knocking
I guess I'd
it.
have to rewatch it again. Honestly, maybe through different eyes.
the way I see it, it doesn't have to do with anything that she's a girl or whatever, but maybe she had her mind wiped and the training still stuck with her, or maybe like she's just that freaking good out of the box.
Yeah, but I don't know. Just because Anakin is supposed to be the strongest out of he has the highest midichlorian count of any Sith or Jedi. And that guy needed training. Like, I'm sorry.
Comicbook.com, I think, did a ranking, and they said Luke is actually the strongest of all the Force users.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
because
I mean,
he was able to resist both Palpatine and Vader, and that's the reason why they call him the strongest of
yeah, that's true.
the users.
See that?
So there's a lot of controversy there, and I understand. And granted, there is legitimacy to those arguments about why did Rey become so powerful so quickly?
No.
And hopefully, maybe it gets answered in the new movie.
I mean,
coming
I get
out.
it. I get Kylo Ren. Yeah, he'd already been shot,
Yeah,
and he had taken some damage. But this girl's going toe to toe with a guy who'd been training for not only as a Jedi, but he's also been training as a Sith.
yeah.
So I don't know. It's just.
I mean,
in a world where, and I'm not pointing fingers, and I usually try to tread this very carefully, but I feel like the agenda to give equality to female leads is kind of taking away, and I'm all about it. I'm like, give her another episode and make her OP. Come next at Return of the Jedi. Come on, give them some time for growth. Don't make them super powerful. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
I think your concern was that there was no training there.
Yeah,
it
doesn't make any sense.
Prior evidence to show that she was that strong, but maybe again those questions maybe get answered in episode.
It might be.
Let's see what happens here. Alex,
but pod racing.
Yeah, pod racing. That was great. So Parker, what was your next one? You wanted to
Third
bring up?
one. I mean, I know there have been reiterations of this game so many times, but you could even start off Mario Party Classic game and hook up your Nintendo 64, and people would still have as much fun. And in that game, maybe more so because of the nostalgia.
Yeah.
But Mario Party is one of my favorite
You
games.
like Mario Party?
Man, I love.
game, dude.
I never got into Mario Party.
Well, you know what? Because you never really played it, I think.
I don't think I ever played it, and
It's a situational game. It's it is Mario Party. Sounds like what you would have to play. You have to have friends over. It has to be a sleepover. There has to be pizza, copious amounts of Coke, and Coke as in Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I wasn't doing lines of Coke as an 8-year-old.
that would have been a crazy ass night.
Yeah, my dad is a billionaire and sponsored from people from Colombia. Point is that is, but it has to be one of the best games, the most fun games I've played with a group of friends ever.
It's literally the digital board game. That's what it is.
Exactly.
You know what's the problem I think I had with Mario Party? And it's true, I didn't play it that much. Is because it came out against so much competition in its own console with Mario Kart and with and just starting Smash Brothers. Both of those came out. True. All three of them came out around the same time.
Nintendo was killing it.
Killing it, murdering it. At that time, there was no question what was a superior console.
Yeah, Nintendo 64 at that moment.
Monstrous.
Destroying, killing everything else. Burying it in a shallow grave.
Shut down Sega. Shut down Sega.
Yeah. No
Shut them down and bottom out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, crap.
Or
yes,
aren't they independent software developers?
No, because Sega. Because remember,
Sonic is
Sega
a Nintendo
was
character.
Wow. I didn't know
Sega
that.
had Sonic. And now that Sega's like, if you look, there's jokes. It's like, oh, there's a video on YouTube, but it's like, oh, we multi-platform now. Like, go on your own console. We don't have a console. we're Sega at that point. Was it Sonic and his friends became free agents?
Yeah,
and they got picked up by Nintendo. You're right.
So I mean, I enjoyed those games more, but I see a lot of people have told me like it is like the best party game. If
you know what we should do, and even in the newer games, the only difference. The game has literally not changed. All it did was get better graphics, have more games, but they still have the classic mini games that used to play in the old Mario parties. Yeah. Well, we need to do a Mario Party night. Actually, that would be a good recording thing. But
definitely,
and then
Mario Party.
You can do it sober. You could do it not sober. You could do it with food. You could do it with more food. Definitely, but I think that's something for you need to experience that.
I will.
Bro, you need to experience that.
But it's growing. It's still with the Wii U, right? And it's still with like all the other systems.
Yeah, I mean, it's they have one for GameCube. They have one for Wii U. I'm sure with the new Wii console, Switch, Nintendo Switch is definitely going to come up with a new one.
Definitely.
But Mario Party, for sure.
So what you got, Alex?
My next one is another Star Wars game.
Yes.
Star Wars Shadow of the Empire.
My favorite.
Bathe me.
My two.
Bathe me in your light.
My two favorite non-canonical characters Star Wars has. One is Dash Rendar. The second, even though he is canonical, he has appeared in Empire Strikes Back. IG-88. Those two characters are so BA and so crazy that you see it in Shadow of the Empire, and you love it. You love the story behind it. There's so many cool scenes in that. There's like you going through a Hoth battle, the Hoth fortress, the hangar. Remember how many times it took to shoot a Wampa to kill it? Like it took 1,000 shots from a blaster to kill a Wampa.
Those things are scary.
Oh my god!
They're so scary. You could even
no man. You just you think that's scary? Look at it at friggin' like 64-bit resolution.
You think that's scary?
That's awful. It sounds like something from Doom.
Last year, going to Parasite City Comic Con, and 501st was there, and I'm walking in front of the 501st display, and we're like, oh, whatever. All of a sudden, Alex goes, bro, look, and I turn around. Coming down an aisle super fast is a guy totally cosplaying a perfect Wampa.
Oh god, that's scary.
Like, oh!
I'd be like, okay, it's not. It's still terrifying. It's terrifying. You even got to play him. I don't know if anyone of you guys have played man, that should be.
Are you talking about the Star Wars fighting game?
It's not on my list. It's unfortunately on my list, and I totally forgot about it. But Battlefront 2, which is considered puts Battlefront 3 to shame. I'm sorry, Battlefront 3 was garbage. It was only multiplayer. It had no story. But there's modes where you could fight like creatures and stuff. One of them you had to fight an army of Wampas.
Oh my god!
And
I remember
you lost every single time.
Yeah.
Because on top of their clawing, which is almost a one hit kill. Like there's a thing where they can like the Jedi have the jump and they can press the attack button and you do like a down thing. Well, they would jump up and then you could do this from climbing. You could climb a mountain and hit the jump over the base, get enough speed.
Yeah.
And then you do your R attack and basically they just hit the ground and a shockwave and just kill everyone within like a 10-foot radius. Yeah. Basically, you lose every time. It's scary.
Oh my god!
I don't want to do that again.
You know what's funny? I just thought about it right now in Empire. Luke gets his butt whooped so much in Empire Strikes Back. I never realized he gets owned by a Wampa outright, and then he gets his arm cut off by his own father. That's so great.
I'm telling you, man. And then he came back in Return of the Jedi.
Oh god!
And he was just like, "Look at me now." It's like, see, that's called progression. That's progression.
Nice guy.
But yeah, that's a great game, bro. It's a game I really loved. What was the name of Dash Rendar's ship? I totally forget now.
I don't even know. I know it looked like a mini.
It looked like a somewhat like a Falcon. I just don't remember now. Give what you got.
Next one we already mentioned. Smash Bros.
Oh, bro.
Again, another Nintendo. Dude,
that's actually my next one.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Let's talk about now.
But I guess we'll share this one then. But I clocked in so many hours of time. I'm talking about entire weekends spent sleeping over a friend's house playing Smash Bros.
You're preaching to the choir.
Taking about 10, 20 minutes off playing another game and like, hey, you ready? Yeah, let's go back and play some more Smash Bros. and like you could play with 2 people, single player. But then when you got like 4 people, and it didn't matter at the time the graphics because we didn't care about the graphics. Yeah. We cared about playing our favorite
characters,
our favorite Nintendo characters all-star on all-star team, and then just beating the crap out of each other. And I had no idea how to use the home run bat. And then I figured it out. I figured it out when I was a teenager. And then I'm like, after playing Melee and then coming back to original Super Smash Brothers. So much fun. Oh, my gosh.
Who was your favorite character?
Samus, dude.
Oh my God,
bro.
Both of you.
Samus carries. Falcon Punch. Show me your boobs.
Oh my God.
That's not what he said. I'm sorry.
No.
But definitely, dude. Samus had like some of my thing about playing as Samus. She had some of, if not the best, recovery.
Yes.
Because of the way the character was built. Some people are just easier at getting to the back of the field, and she would just come back so many times. All she needs to do is hit you 3 times with that fully charged shot, and you're done. Oh, yeah. Mind you, it wasn't the easiest thing to do. But if you could pull it off, then that was your death.
Now, my brother over here would play as Fox, so he would just try. He would just like bait me to do it, and then I just like
deflect.
He'd just deflect it. But I would always trick him, like I was gonna punch him. So you know how the forward smash looks like the punch, and she throws the gun.
Yeah.
So I would just do that, and then I'd do the shot.
Yeah, you can cut off halfway, and then
oh my God,
it's scary, man.
The toughest. Literally, Alex and me for a time, we were really good at Smash.
And you have Smash Brothers, right?
Almost.
You still on your N64.
That's still the only game I'll probably play this year.
We need a video game night. That's official. That's already been.
We just got to censor the crap out of it because me and I get really vulgar.
It's true. We don't have to record it.
Me and I should talk about inserting things into places in the human body the whole time. That's all we do.
With your mouth. And 2 other places.
And you're gonna
in an order that would surprise you.
And then you're gonna like it. You're gonna take it and you're gonna like it.
Little Japanese girl. Yeah,
make sure
Penny's joining in.
Christy's. Oh, well, hopefully she stops. So, what was I gonna say? My favorite character, actually, for a long time, I didn't use Fox. Who I used the most was actually Kirby. Kirby used to be my
Kirby's
favorite.
So annoying.
Kirby's great because it's just so hard to kill Kirby.
It is. That probably the person with the best recovery just because you're floating and stuff, and that was annoying.
It was tough, but I truly enjoyed playing as Kirby and as Fox.
Because you get to absorb.
Bro,
everybody
is cheat to play with Samus. Samus can make millions of bombs in the air while you're trying to chase her. She is ridiculously hard.
Fox is cheap because he's the fastest player in the game.
Which only got worse because they kept making him faster.
The reflection thing.
They only kept making him faster and faster. And faster. I don't know if you've seen. There's a video about a minute long on YouTube about a Fox player and a Falco player going at it in super
ridiculous.
Sudden death. I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. It looks like they were like turned into Super Saiyans and just went like the physics. It was on Final Destination. They started up top and made their way underneath.
And they're still going.
And they made from underneath the stage made their way back up. I'm just like. Why?
It's insane. It's insane.
Whatever.
I understand that, like, for the original Smash, I understand that Fox is somewhat considered broken. But playing against you, bro, is not broken. Like,
because I'm great at fucking Samus.
Good at Samus.
Yeah, no.
Alex is so
if
good
you
at Samus.
If you can get good at one character, no matter who it is, you can still put up a fight. Obviously, some of them are a little bit better than others, but
I will tell you, I was a jerk though sometimes because when I got really good with Fox, I used to knock Alex off cliffs. Wait until Alex did his final jump out into the cliff area, and put my deflector on and bounce him off the cliff.
Yeah, no, it's not fun. It's not when you're late game. It really depends on who has the most damage and who can return, but it's fun.
It's such a good game.
So since we shared that one, I'm gonna finish my last one. My last one, and undisputed. It was really hard to pick my favorite one, but Halo 1.
Really? Halo 1.
When it came, and I didn't have an Xbox, so I had to I had to go. No. I had to go get invited, sleep over at my best friend's house, Jesse Hernandez. I had to sleep over his house. And it's like, hey, you ready? You ready? He did not play that game without me because we played story co-op. And it was amazing. It was so much fun.
It's definitely, I think, considered the battle game. I think it's considered like for Nintendo and for Xbox, it was like the first person shooter. It was like the first
I changed the way we played first person shooters
for almost half a decade. It dominated the market.
Yeah, it did.
And then you're like, oh, this is Halo 1. How are we ever going to beat it? I don't know. Halo 2! And they gave you the first option to start playing online competitively. That was the first time.
It was great.
And I mean, people were still playing that game until the last day when the servers finally cut off.
Yeah.
They were supporting Halo 2 online. It was just ridiculous.
Is there any particular weapon you guys loved using in PvP? Or were you a sticky bomb guy? Were you that type of jerk?
Well, first off, I think everyone can agree, classic map that no one's ever going to get tired of. Blood Gulch. The two bases, red and blue.
Yeah.
Also, the red versus blue, one of my favorite shows growing up. But my favorite weapon, dude, honestly, I'm all about that pistol, dude. Because when that thing was bad, it was over.
Guy, wow.
That thing was overpowered. The thing, you could zoom, and it was able to if you just hit headshots, which is pretty easy depending, who you're playing against. But man, that thing was so good that in Halo 2 they totally nerfed the pistol was never better. And then I can't remember what game they brought it back to basically that you could zoom in and still have it as good as it was before. But I don't think it was ever as good as it was in Halo 1. And the thing was just stupid good. That was my favorite weapon.
Well, I'm gonna say the definitive first person shooter.
Go.
GoldenEye.
Oh.
Back to Nintendo 64.
Yep.
Nostalgia member berries falling everywhere.
Dude, that game was. I think that's everybody's favorite game from their childhood.
I don't know. I mean, it's up there.
It's probably. I would say, if it's one of the maybe not so much the single story, but it was one of those things where you played versus multiplayer, probably more than you actually played the actual story.
Yeah, split screen is.
Oh my god!
Everybody remembers that split screen on Temple.
I can tell you all the maps. Temple. Oh my god! Now I'm forgetting all the maps. There's the base with the two power plants next to each other. That are the doors. You had Temple. Man, why am I forgetting all of them now?
Yes, we gotta play.
I mean, the Temple was the most.
And
popular
you had the one where it was all metal walls, and then you have red barriers.
I guess we gotta play it again. You have GoldenEye, don't you?
I have all these games. Of course.
So, I mean, shoot, dude. We need a video game night. That's been decided.
God,
we just got to figure out
when.
when.
I used to hate Alex playing GoldenEye because he always picked Odd Job. Always. And I didn't know about how broken Odd Job was, but I was like, okay, he can
I played it only a handful of times. So there's different characters that have stats in the game?
Some are take not more exactly. Hits.
Some have more stamina, some have more speed.
Really, the thing, ironically, it's such a primal thing, but it makes sense. The thing that's most important in GoldenEye is the height of your character. Because
also Jaws had more health too.
Jaws had better hit points because he was big, he was huge. But the best character technically being that game is Odd Job because you're so short. It's so hard to get the aim down. You have to crouch down because it didn't have an auto shoot.
Couldn't you just aim downward?
This is before
it's so tricky.
Shooters got really good.
Yeah.
So
you had to manually control
it.
Yeah.
It was such it was so cheap. But whatever. I since then I've stopped playing as Odd Job because
you realized that wasn't fair. And then you would stop playing I'm losing now. This is unfamiliar.
Why am I getting hit now?
It's either that or I go around people. I just strafe and just turn and just karate
chop the crap out.
Hiya!
Oh my god!
Karate chop of death.
Such a good game. Such a well made game. It's definitely a game.
That's a good list.
Such a good list. Both of your lists are great.
And there's so many more. There's so many more.
Yeah, there's Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario 64.
To this day,
Mario Kart
Double Dash. Yet another GameCube classic that came out when so many great. See that we've already established. I only have a GameCube, so I will know. I'm very much in love with a lot of these GameCube titles, but man, so many other games. But
Oh my God.
I think we're now moving on to quickly.
Well, since we
Upcoming
were
games.
talking about these games that we're nostalgic for, and now we're talking about the past and how great these games. We're in 2017 now. There are games that are going to be coming out now soon.
Yay!
Is there any
Hoverboard
games?
should be coming out in about 10 years.
Soon.
Hopefully. Actually, didn't Lexus make one? Didn't Lexus
They proved that. Well, I mean, they did make one, but it's not real. What they did was, damn, I forgot what it's called, but it's like it's like electromagnetic locking.
Yeah.
Basically, what it is that you get like an electromagnetic rail,
Yeah.
and what you do is that you freeze an object onto it, like with liquid nitrogen, and then it just follows that rail no matter what. Yeah, so
I'm sure Israel will come up with it first.
Why is...
Israel already invented the flying car. Dude,
it's called a plane.
No, but I'm telling you, they'll come up.
Well, Volkswagen came out with an autonomous bus. Not autonomous bus, an autonomous wagon.
all right.
So, the
as
future's
far as
coming.
Actually, no.
Still waiting
I
for
think,
Google. Come on,
Tesla
Google car.
has an
Let's
autopilot
go.
that's like friggin' awesome.
I just look. This is my dream. Is I go to work. I don't even have to get dressed to get into my car. I can get dressed in my car.
Yeah.
While my car drives me to work. Think about how much time.
It'd be like
Oh, my
Minority
God.
Report with Tom Cruise.
Yes.
Yeah.
People
Everything
have
is
meetings in their
automated.
car. Oh my God, it's gonna be great. And then we have precogs, and then we have to worry about like the morality of stuff.
But I didn't do it. I didn't do anything.
Not yet.
Can you, bro? If you had that today,
Oh my God.
Think about how moral that actually is. But anyways,
true. True.
let's move on.
Yes. So
Games-
5 anticipated games.
yes, let's try to get through this quickly. But
the near
what-
future,
what's
because
the-
mines aren't.
Yeah,
mine
why don't we?
have
We'll have to go
release
back
dates
and
yet.
forth because in case we
Yeah.
we have a master list, but
Yeah.
we'll take whatever. So Alex, why don't you go first?
Well, a few of my games don't have release dates yet. I'm
Yeah.
anticipating that they'll come out this year, maybe later. But my first one, Last of Us 2.
Yes.
Oh yes.
And I'm only really saying that because I just bought the PS4 with the remastered version of Last of Us. And oh my God, that game is amazing.
There's nothing like a game that you love playing and it makes you sad at the end.
The thing is that I never really had an interest in playing The Last of Us. And then my PS4 came with it, and I was like, whatever, fuck it.
I guess I might as well play. Dear Lord, this game is amazing.
Yeah, it's such an amazing game. It caught me off guard. I've always heard it was amazing, but you know what? It truly is amazing. The
I
story in the
agree.
game is amazing.
Game, everything from gameplay
You know what?
to voice acting to
Yeah,
everything.
And you know what? If that game ever
The graphics.
that game deserves to be made into a movie. It deserves.
It is.
We'll get
It's
into
called
that.
Logan.
Yeah.
Coming out March
It
3rd.
looks like that's gonna be. Oh,
Except
God.
Joel has claws. And
really?
he's killed, and played by Hugh Jackman.
Really quick, did you see the second trailer?
I did,
Oh,
and
bro,
it won't beat
X23.
it won't beat this first one because
The first one still-
the first one almost made me cry.
Yeah.
but the second one
almost. Like I was like sobbing.
I was misty. I think it's a combination.
That was almost as bad as Bing Bong. I was like, oh my God.
I think it's because it's going to be, as of right now, it's been confirmed his last movie.
Yeah.
Whether or not
Yeah.
that changes in the future.
I mean,
so
that-
it's emotional.
Now with the second trailer, we find out that the little girl is X-23, and that's
No, for sure.
It's been
that's the
confirmed.
person
No,
who's going to replace
the
him,
big,
period.
the real fans knew it was X-23.
Yeah.
For the for the people who weren't as deep, then with the second trailer confirmed it. But it's going to be amazing. So,
Definitely. It's really
The Last
good.
of Us 2
The
is gonna
Last
be
of Us is
amazing.
going to be great.
Yeah.
I hope it's a little bit. I hope the ending isn't as sad as the first
Yeah.
one.
Well, Elle's going to be like a grown woman now, right? Or is she like a
She's
teenager?
grown.
I think she's like
She's
18 in this
she's
one.
older,
Yeah.
so now
And-
hormones and stuff.
Yeah.
But
And that trailer was really good for that game. Go
another
ahead,
game.
What you got?
Another game coming out this year. I do not know. I'm almost positive it's supposed to come out this year. I don't know if it hasn't confirmed it yet. I have to check. Outlast 2. So if you're not familiar with
That
this
is
game.
a terrifying game.
Raul, have you seen this?
I watch a gameplay and I have to change. I have to ponies and kittens
Ponies and
and
rainbows and
teacup
marshmallows and
pigs
everything.
and that I need to change
For
it
those
quickly.
for the audience who has not seen or played Outlast 1.
Yeah.
If you want to watch and you want to know what we're talking about, watch Markiplier play it. I love his mix let's play, but
Yeah.
his let's play on YouTube for this game. It'll make make the medicine going down a little easier. It is one of the most horrifying games I have ever seen and played. I played briefly, and it's like no other horror game. You can't fight. You don't have any weapons. You can literally you only have a camcorder. You can only run, hide, or die.
Yeah.
Literally, the game tells you that you can run, hide, or die, and it is scary. And it has its DLC, Whistleblower, is as good, if not better, than the actual original game. And it was amazing. It was amazing. Scared the pants off of me. I forgot to put it back on again.
To go back, to go back to Last of Us, some of the best cosplays I've seen in a long time were Last of Us. There's two cosplayers. I forget their names. I apologize. They're amazing cosplayers of Last of Us.
I love you, even though we don't remember who you are.
I'll look them up while you guys talk about Outlast. Have you played Outlast, Alex? Or no?
I haven't, but I have watched the gameplay footage. I haven't, but I've watched the gameplay footage, and man, that game is scary.
No, it is.
You know, the scariest game I've played in recent history, Alien Isolation.
Oh,
Yes.
no, that's a good one.
That's a really good one, but dude,
But
I would say
Alien Isolation was an amazing game, but even then, it wasn't as scary as Outlast, mainly because at least in Alien Isolation, you had weapons and you had things you had things that you could distract people with, and you actually had guns. You could kill people and defend yourself. Not so in Outlast. It was scary as all get out. Have you seen the demo?
Whenever you came across an alien, you couldn't really do shit
Yeah,
anyway.
you had the flamethrower. You had the flamethrower to try to scare it off. But have you seen the trailer for Outlast 2?
No, I haven't.
Watch it, Raul. You need to go watch this thing.
I will.
It's good.
No, definitely. Really quick, just to give a shout out to Trisket Flavor and Captain Elm. Those are the two Last of Us
Yay!
cosplayers. They're
Got
really
'em.
good. You can find them at Trisket Flavor on social media or at Captain Elm, and they do really, really cool.
Sick.
And actually, also Joel XO, I believe the gentleman's name is. Let me look it up.
Is that his actual name?
Joel
I'm
Zero or
assuming-
Joe XO?
I'm assuming he's dressed up as Joel. So
It was really cool. The guy, he actually did it for Spooky Empire. So just to give a really quick shout out to those guys that coming out with those cosplays. Again, looking amazing. It's a simple cosplay that you can pull off, and it's a very recognizable because everyone who has a PlayStation has played Last of Us.
probably, or at least seen it,
Or
even
at
if you
least
don't have
seen
the.
it, yes.
So Alex, next game.
Next game, God of War.
Yeah.
The new one.
Ah.
I'm so hyped for this game because I have played most of the God of Wars. I didn't play the ones on PSP or PS Vita or whatever.
Which I heard was also very good.
Joel X0, that's what his name is. Joel X0.
So
Thanks.
thanks for that.
Yeah.
Anyways, no man, this God of War, I love that even though it has him from Greek mythology, that he's gonna fight Norse mythology.
I know.
first.
I agree.
Oh,
I was like, what? Because when I first saw the trailer, like I thought it was just gonna be a regular God of War and whatever. This is like
not.
northern Greece or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like the big ass troll comes out of nowhere and
Oh,
he says,
God.
blah 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 Valhalla. I'm like,
But I think even better, like if you notice, they've changed the dynamic of the game completely. It's
Yeah.
now we're over the shoulder, third
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
you know,
Game.
it looks a lot like Last of Us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna slow down the gameplay in a sense of not that it's bad, but it's gonna make it a lot more intimate.
Yeah.
Because before you were
Yes.
just running around like fourth person,
a
like
s-
from a distance, and you could see
Like a
him.
cinematic
Yeah,
camera.
and he was just running around hack. It was a hack and it was an amazing, probably one of the best hack and slash games
Ever.
we've ever had. But we're like the game. We're older, and we've matured,
Yes.
and God of War has matured with us.
Definitely.
Yes.
And now
Definitely.
it's ready to be
That's
like,
definitely
hey,
time.
you were a kid back then, and you wouldn't like God of War 3 doesn't cut it anymore. So give you God of War 4, and the game is gonna be amazing.
I just
It's
love
gonna be amazing.
That is one of the first games I bought Alex literally just to watch the gameplay and the story of the game.
Yeah, he had no
Because
interest in
I was
actually
enthralled.
playing.
He just wanted to watch it.
He wanted
I
to
was
watch it.
enthralled with the story. I loved Kratos' character. He's not really even a hero. He's more of an anti-hero than
He really is.
anything.
Yeah, kind of kills
He's
everything.
more of an asshole than anything else.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, he's got. I understand why. And
Yeah, yeah.
Literally everybody betrays him.
Yeah.
Everybody. You can't trust. You can't. The guy lives in his life is basically like living in Gotham City. You
Yeah.
can't trust anybody.
But I thoroughly enjoyed the gameplay. I enjoyed the game. Its cinematics, especially like God of War 2 and God of War 3, the cinematics are so.
I agree.
I remember
beautiful.
this one shot. This is just one shot in God of War 3 where you are running across a bridge onto these golden horses, and that was just like artwork.
No.
But I think I'm just really glad the dialogue's going to change. It's going to be a lot less of and Zeus and Ares, and he's going to be he's a dad now, dude. We're going to finally see the human version
of Kratos.
Yeah. And I'm really the story is I don't think that story's going to be beat. It's going to be the best God of War we've ever seen.
I really hope so. I would love to see how the transition between the Greek gods to the Norse gods. I would love to see.
Now that he has a son, who's his mother?
Who's the son? And
what
stuff like
woman let him climb on top of them?
I mean, he had a daughter at one point.
Hey,
that's true.
I'm sure there's a lot of women.
But pre Kratos, that was before Kratos was Kratos.
Yeah.
That makes sense. This is a shell shocked, battle hardened Kratos. I'm not saying that he's any less physically attractive. Yeah. I'm just curious what role that's going to play, who his mother's going to be and stuff. So it
looks like it's going to be a beautiful game. I remember there's a part where in the trailer you're chasing a deer or a stag, and all of a sudden you see like a big, huge, beautiful open world.
Yeah.
That actually adapted to while Kratos was running through it. So it was really, really beautiful to see that get rendered. What's the next game, guys?
Next game on our list is Resident Evil 7, Biohazard. Now this plays a very personal touch to me because I love the Resident Evil series. Not saying that everything they do is perfect.
And the movies?
And I enjoy the movies for what they are.
I mean, to be honest with you, the movies have gotten
ridiculous.
They've gone the route of Fast and the Furious.
I think so. You know what I really enjoyed? I enjoyed the first one, and I really enjoyed the second one.
The second one I did enjoy. I did enjoy Nemesis.
The first and two. The first one and the second one, I think they were great. I think they very much held to what was the
original.
It was just great for me in the second one seeing Nemesis on screen. That was amazing.
Yeah. If you really want to stick to the game, like the being true to the series, I'd recommend if you haven't seen the 3D animated films.
I've heard they're very good.
They're awesome. The Generation and I think Biohazard.
Yeah,
I think the films, they're I've seen them both. I love them mainly because they both have Leon, and they both come from my favorite game, which is deemed the best Resident Evil game of all time, Resident Evil 4, which I have for GameCube. Woot. But anyways,
it was the first GameCube game that had blood and violence. I
think so. Yeah. It's and PlayStation 2 later picked it up. With more features that I'm so jealous of.
Back to that Nintendo thing about the violence and stuff like that. Dude, you used to crush turtles as Mario. How can you say that?
And use their corpses as weapons.
I mean, come on.
You used to catch eggs from a dinosaur and use it to knock people off cliffs.
It was pretty violent. If they added blood, we'd be like, oh, hell no.
There were skeletons chasing you the whole time.
I'm not letting my kid play this game.
Zombies were chasing you at one point.
But Resident Evil looks like it, again, when it took a huge leap and changed in Resident Evil 4. And then it slowly but surely progressed or degressed into Resident Evil 6. A lot of people weren't happy about it. You can enjoy the story, but from what I've been told, I only played a little bit. The gameplay was not great. The game overall was not as good as what they expected.
That's the one that happened in Africa, right?
No, that's Resident Evil 5.
Oh, okay.
Which is, it kind of took the horror out of Resident Evil 4 and made it more of an action. Because it was leading horror, action. It was a perfect marriage of the two in Resident Evil 4, made more action in Resident Evil 5. But now we're going first person, and it's a lot like PT. After PT came out and was a huge success in regards to everyone all aboard, one-way ticket on the hype train, and it got canceled. We were all very sad about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully in the future we'll finally get some version of the game, a Silent Hills game. But it's looking a lot like first person, very very in depth.
Yes.
First-person game where it's not going to be like a Resident Evil we've played before. Definitely not.
But it looks like it's kind of like it looks like it's a callback to 4, though. There's some aspects of it that are very 4-ish.
I guess, I don't know, because again, PT, Outlast, a lot of these games I feel had an influence on it, and they looked at the success of it. I think they're trying to go back way back to like the horror aspect.
Yeah.
And then I think we've removed the I don't know how much of a survival game it is anymore. I don't know if they'll have weapons. Again, there's a lot of stuff that I don't know.
Can I tell you something genius about the original Resident Evil game that terrified me for no reason, but it's terrifying nonetheless? Every cutscene of opening a door in
Lord.
Resident Evil, I don't know why it's terrifying. There's nothing happens in that cutscene except a door opening, but it's like you feel. I guess because you feel like something is gonna pop out of the door one
You're
day.
already nervous before you open that door.
Yeah.
So the whole game was supposed to put you on edge, and the fact that it was a controlled camera.
Cutscene,
like you couldn't, but like even the gameplay itself, it was controlled camera, like it was fixed, and only changed as you moved. And there was so much out of your control. You're just like, God, I don't know what's going on. So that definitely was scary. Probably one of the scariest moments I think people had was when one of the zombie Dobermans smashed through the window that first time, or when you're walking down the hall and the hands come out the wall. They don't hurt you.
Yeah.
But probably one of the biggest moments of scares in video game history. But I really want this game to do well.
I think it will. There's a locked audience for Resident Evil that they'll always be there.
They'll play. I mean, as a fan, it's almost part of our job. Whether we like it at the end or not, we're gonna play it regardless.
Definitely.
So,
Alex, what you got on your list?
My next one I saw is also your number 3 is Horizon Zero Dawn.
yay!
Okay, so tell me about Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay, so basically you're some chick that's running around with a mechanical bow and arrow that looks like super futuristic that turns into a staff, I think.
Yeah.
And you fight mechanical or robot dinosaurs.
Oh.
And man, the game just looks cool. It's such an original idea that and on top of that, post-apocalyptic. So you get like all the ruins of like modern civilization and stuff like that. It just looks really
It sounds
cool.
like they're combining Tomb Raider with Turok, is what it sounds like.
It could be. I could because when I looked at it, because I played Turok and I definitely enjoyed it in the whole dinosaur aspect. But I mean, I don't know if you haven't seen the trailer for Raul and for our listeners, watch it, and then if you want, play it because it looks.
What system is it going to be for?
I believe
PS4.
I think it's an exclusive. Is it? Is it coming out for Xbox?
I'm not actually sure.
That we have to check out. I'll have to see.
Sounds
Not that
really,
it matters
really
to me because I don't have either.
Last of Us and God of War are going to be exclusive.
Is it FPS? Is it like an FPS or is
no? It's it's another
like survival
It's not a third person over the shoulder. It's kind of like a more distant, like a fourth person hovering type thing. But I think it changes. But it looks amazing. I mean, I just even at the graphics, and I know graphics alone does not a great game make.
Yeah,
but it looks amazing, just visually.
It looks great.
Like
I would say, what's more important to you in a game? Really quick,
story.
Story.
Well, besides story, besides content itself, I'm talking about more gameplay specific. Graphics or camera angles?
Truthfully, I don't even know if that matters. I mean, I was going to say game. I would think it was going to.
If you can control the camera, you can literally have any angle you want.
Yeah.
So like for example, GTA 5, you can get some truly amazing cinematics with that game just by controlling the camera angle. So.
But then you look at. I think it's more the game. Look at Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
You couldn't control unless you were like moving around and stuff. But like, there's not much you can control in that game. It kind of does. It's deemed one of the best series ever existed, and it has nothing to do with I think it actually has to do with the gameplay itself,
and
like the mechanics and stuff, the RPG.
Yeah, the RPG aspect.
Another game that I played again, another game that was on GameCube, but it was a Fire Emblem, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. I loved it. It's low res. The graphics are awful unless you're on a cutscene, and even then they're subpar. The in-game graphics. They're not that great. They're nothing to like. They're nothing about that is fancy or flashy. Mm-hmm. It's decent enough. Like I love the game so much. I think it's one of the best games I've ever played in my life. I've beat it over 10 times. Replayed it over and over again. It's just it's got a good story. The gameplay, it's great. It's an RPG. I don't think at that point I think those are the biggest points of a game: the story and the how you play the game. Definitely. More than the way it looks. Because we started off, there's some PlayStation 2 like games like Under the
God of War 3.
Shadow of the Colossus,
That's another one.
which is an amazing one, and even for Shadow of the PlayStation 2, the graphics were really good, but the game was amazing. So I think that's more important than what you can do with the camera angles or graphics to begin with.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes a great game.
If there's a great story, then that trumps everything, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you had the choice between camera angles or graphics, I'd go with graphics.
Yeah, if I can see the sweat beads down on my character's face, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. I mean, they're bringing back Crash Bandicoot. I don't know if you know that.
No, I did not.
Remastered and modern graphics.
Oh, you know what?
And they're not changing they're bringing those games back. They're not changing anything. The story, the same game, newer graphics, and people are gonna play that crap out of that.
Is this gonna still have like the NPCs that are like already talking and moving and then all of a sudden the word blips come up and all?
I think so, but basically you can see the only difference now is you can see every tuft of hair on Crash's body and every rip on his jean shorts, and it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be awesome.
And I think Alex, you have a piece of information about that, right? The Crash
there's a game coming out called Yooka-Laylee that's going to be produced by I forgot the name of the studio, but basically that studio makes up all the old people from Rare.
Oh man!
So all the people who made like Banjo-Kazooie, all the people who made Donkey Kong Country, GoldenEye, they're going to be in making this game, and it's going to be like one of those.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
I'm about it.
I do want to play that game.
Definitely. So what's the next game, guys? What we got?
I think this one's on Alex.
Red Dead 2.
Yo.
I mean, honestly, I never really played the first one. Maybe I should.
You absolutely shoot Naughty Dog.
Huh?
I think it's not Naughty Dog.
No, it's
Rockstar.
Rockstar.
Dude, it's so hard for them not to do a good game.
I know.
They have to try, but play the first one, and then there's a DLC with a zombie version. Yeah. Basically, the game, if there were zombies, I've never played it. I've only watched it, and I was just like, this game looks awesome.
So I've never actually played it, but knowing how Rockstar is, knowing how much of a fan base the first one has, I'm excited to play this game.
It's cool. Man, I'm not gonna be able to play it because I don't have a console, a better console yet.
Well, get one.
I have responsibilities. It's called being an adult.
Well, shit, I have a console and I'm responsible.
Yeah, well, you make more money. You make more money than I do, so that's for sure. If I had the disposable income you had, maybe. But regardless, I'm gonna watch someone at some point. Diana has a PS4.
Well, there you go. Right there.
There you go.
Yeah, when I move to Orlando eventually.
Oh my god. But Dead Red looks really cool. I wonder where they're gonna go with the story. A lot of people really, really love that game, and there's a lot of love recently redeveloped for Western culture, especially with Westworld and shows like that.
I'm just excited. New people to love and new people that you want to love to hate. So it might pick off with the Sun, but who knows? We'll see.
Let's see.
We shall see.
Definitely.
You want to go through these last ones and just mention them real fast? And
yeah. Go
mention them. Last ones we haven't touched on. Spider-Man for the PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be a big one.
Really excited.
People have already been cosplaying him major.
People have been... that's amazing. Cosplayers out there, especially these Spider-Man cosplayers, that are able to take the renderings from these trailers or from wherever they get the graphics for the Spider-Man suit and able to put it up is amazing. Yeah, it's truly amazing.
People have been cosplaying him for the past 6 months, if not more. So that's coming out. Mass Effect Andromeda, which needs no introduction. Yeah. People will play this game just because it has Mass Effect in it, and it's understandable. Probably one of the best RPG sci-fi games ever. I haven't played it. Diana has, and she says it's amazing. So I'm hopefully at some point I'll be able to play it. Would be nice. After that, there's also For Honor. I
have that on my list too.
That's the knight, samurai, Viking, war game, which looks. I don't know why they know this hasn't been done before, but it just looks. It looks
really awesome.
It's just different. It's gonna be a cool game. And then a big one. I think it's the last one we have on our list. A big one is The Legend of Zelda: Breath of Wild.
Oh man, I think it's gonna be the first open world Zelda game. Am I correct?
Actually, technically, a few others have been open world.
I I think the actual only Legend of Zelda open world game was actually the first one, where you actually can walk around and stuff like that.
Not true, because I have Twilight Princess for the GameCube. What? And I think that's gonna. I'm gonna start doing that from now on. But I don't know if I think they're maybe expanding on what they had before, but this one looks. I haven't played Skyway Sword, unfortunately, but any Legend of Zelda game I'm excited for, just because I love the series. I remember playing it on Game Boy Advance as a kid, Oracle of the Seasons. That's one of the first games I actually ever played as a kid. So it's gonna be interesting, to say the least. It's gonna be really cool. I think that pretty much covers our list.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't think I have anything. I think those are the big ones. If we're missing anything else, I mean, obviously, there are other games that are probably going to be coming out, like Nier, the sequel, but I think those are the big ones, the really big ones that people are looking forward to this year.
Yeah.
So
and what's really cool, and you know how Legend of Zelda is going to be a really good game is because it's going to be an opening title for the Nintendo Switch.
Ooh, speaking of, so the Nintendo Switch is coming out very soon, guys, in 2017. This is going to be the first launch of a new Nintendo system in 2 years? Because I think the Wii U came out not so long ago, right?
Yeah, and the Wii U didn't do
really great.
But the problem was, it wasn't like when the Wii came out, it was great. It was new, it was fresh. Basically, it was like, if you could compare it, Wii was iPhone 6.
Yeah.
And then the Wii U was iPhone 6S.
Yeah.
It was just added stuff. It was fluff. It wasn't really necessary. I mean, the whole handheld tablet, that you could play on was interesting, but it wasn't enough. I don't think they had many exclusives. There wasn't a lot that really it wasn't as innovative as they thought. It wasn't like a huge jump, because you went from the GameCube to the Wii, and you're just like, whoa, that's huge, crazy jump. Switch, I don't know what all the capabilities of it is. As far as I do know, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's a console.
Yes.
It's a console.
Yeah.
But it can also act as a mobile console.
Yes.
Yep.
So you can now play your console games while you're taking a dump.
Yes.
In the bathroom.
Yes. You can continue your console games.
You don't have to put the game on pause.
Which is a little scary and a little great in the same aspect.
It's with great power comes great responsibility. And there's going to be a lack thereof. There's going to be very little responsibility.
There's going to be great power and no responsibility.
There's a lot of cool features about it. Like the remotes that you put on the actual playable system, you can actually take them off and use them as multiplayer controllers.
Yeah, it's
which is really cool. How do you guys feel about it? Do you feel like a lot of people have been describing it as a gimmick? A lot of people are worried about the future of a console like that, especially now with mobile gaming, specifically on phones. Going up.
We've already seen with Mario Run, Nintendo's starting to branch out into mobile gaming.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is too far of a stretch. I don't think this is like a whole big deal that they've decided to go mobile with their console.
Yeah.
But, I do see that it is the next step.
But they also have multi-platform titles on the Switch, if I'm not mistaken. I think Modern Warfare 1, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare 1 is going to be for the Nintendo Switch, which is... I think there's one of the few games, I don't know how many there are, and again, I could have misread, and I apologize for those of you listening that if I'm incorrect, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have some multi-platform titles on Nintendo Switch, which is
I know
just
that
ridiculous.
There's going to be a lot of third-party support on the Nintendo Switch. I know
absolutely. But they're also there's talks of certain sequels to certain games. They're redoing certain games for the Nintendo Switch. There's a sequel in the talks of it hasn't been confirmed yet. I don't know. There's a cult classic game called Eternal Darkness. Sanity's Requiem.
God. Really? They're going to bring it back for the Switch?
It's been rumored that they might be working on a sequel to that game.
A lot of people love that game.
And I do believe that is a GameCube exclusive as well. I'm almost sure. By Emerald Knights. Old game. Yet another game. Yet another example. You don't have to have flashy graphics, good, amazing to make an amazing game.
Yeah.
You need a good story, decent mechanics, and you got puzzles. It was hard, and you got an amazing. And the fact when I saw they might be making a sequel, I squealed. I squealed like a little girl. I was at work when I saw the news, and I had to contain myself, and it was so hard.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a lot of interesting things that might be coming up. So even something like that, alone, a sequel to Eternal Darkness alone would bring huge attention. I mean, that game is almost sells for $100 online.
It's legendary. That game is like, it's got a huge.
I would sell it if I didn't love it so much.
No, I know. I think like the games when I think of like crazy IPs, like original games that have crazy followings. Like that, I think of like Shadows of Colossus, and I think of Eternal Darkness.
Yeah, man, that.
A lot of people love Shadows.
I got some. Those are there's the two things that those games have in common. It makes you feel funny at the end of the game. It's not a happy.
Ominous,
It's not like a happy ending at all. It's very ominous. You have a face like when you beat a game and you're like, oh, yeah, I finally did it. You're kind of like, oh, okay. Oh. I think I'm gonna go take a shower and maybe like watch Dora the Explorer.
Yeah,
to lift my spirits. They're heavy. They're amazing, but heavy. But some things excited for the Nintendo Switch. I'm excited. A lot of people are excited. Lots of cool things coming up in the future.
I think one cool thing, because we were talking about Mario Party earlier, I think one cool thing is that they have like this link up. They showed in the commercials that they have like this link up ability with other people playing the consoles or the mobile version of it. So that looks really cool. You can do like a Mario Party style setup with that. And they are really, really marketing it hard, at least to MLG. And we're starting to see that MLG is becoming much, much more popular day by day. ESPN has picked up MLG to broadcast some of their tournaments, which is insane. To consider that ESPN is picking up, like, to broadcast your gameplay.
Video game,
is ridiculous. It's crazy. And, and I understand that the biggest YouTubers out there, Markiplier, PewDiePie, and Game Grumps, and you can continue on. But it's just amazing the growth of the video gaming world and people wanting to see the games and maybe see them come to life.
Because some people don't necessarily want it. They're afraid to buy the game and be disappointed. We've all had games like that before.
Yeah.
We've all bought games where we're like, oh, we got excited about it. Like,
It's just crazy seeing that competitive gaming is taken seriously now. It's like taken almost superiorly seriously. And I don't know if that's also credit to Red vs. Blue. I don't know if that's a credit to League of Legends.
I'm not sure. I think there's always going to be, if there's a demand for it, people are they're going to find a solution for it.
Yeah.
And I think that comes from huge fan base following games. Like they not too long ago redid and did a remastered version of Modern Warfare 1 with online play.
Yeah.
So you take a game that you couldn't, like years ago, like the servers for that game, cut off. I don't know what happened. I mean, sure, at some point people stopped playing, but they brought it back for the PS4.
Yeah.
People are playing it.
Yep.
People are playing it. Of course, it's probably the best. The only thing that beats it is Modern Warfare 2.
One of the older games out there for Nintendo is Mario Maker. And people are consistently still playing heavy the servers of Mario Maker. And I understand why.
I don't blame
people
them.
Building their own levels, and you can choose whatever Mario you want to play.
Yeah, they had took some aspects from, what's that? What was that puppet?
Little Big World.
Little Big World. There we go. Is that what it's called? Little Big World?
Yes.
I just know it was a huge thing. Very simple.
Huge.
That's another great game. It's super entertaining in its own genre.
Yeah.
That was great.
Awesome gameplay. So Nintendo Switch is something I heavily anticipated. The price has been varying. Some people have been telling me it's $300. Some people are telling me it's $400.
They're always going to do some packages as well, where they're going to include like controllers and games and stuff that are able to play on it. But will happen. They always start high, they drop, and then they come with deals. Get like 4 controllers and stuff.
Just wait a year until Black Friday. You'll get it for like $200.
So really quick,
Story of my PS4.
really quick to talk about because we were talking about bringing games to life. And last year there were 2 films. There's actually 3 films last year that were supposed to bring video game movies to the forefront and bringing the small screen pretty much to the big screen in the sense of the video game play. And it seems like all 3 of those films failed to make that goal happen.
At least financially.
Yeah. Some people did,
you can enjoy it. You can enjoy stories.
The first one I want to talk about is actually the most successful of the 3 is Warcraft. Warcraft.
Really?
Warcraft was the most successful of the 3 video game movies that come out, major video game movies that come out last year, which it its budget was 150. Now, something to let the listeners know, and to let lay people know about movie production is whenever they have a production budget, you pretty much have to double it because they're only going to put the production budget. They're not going to put up the advertising budget. So the advertising budget means the billboards are buying, the posters, the social media feeds, commercial costs. So usually you have to double the production value. So if there's a $150 million movie to make,
it's probably
going to be 300.
Close to 300.
So the budget for this was like 350. I mean 150, correct? So it was a $300 million.
But
it was like a $300 million. And it grossed overall throughout international and total box office 480, which is not bad. That means it did come in with some profit. It had a really good director attached to it named Duncan Jones. He did Source Code and a few other movies that people love. But it fell short. It has like a 28% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm not surprised. I bet the story was half baked. It wasn't that interesting. It was I'm sure it was visually appealing.
Yeah. People have told me it depends on your love of the genre, I guess, or love of the game.
Yeah.
So that was one example. The other really big video game movie come out this year, which had Marion Cotillard, Academy Award-winning actress, and Michael Fassbender attached to it, was Assassin's Creed, and that
opening weekend, I believe it opened 11 million.
Yeah.
So if you weren't Rogue One and if you weren't the animated film known as Sing, which both were awesome, you got squashed. Yes. Basically, that's happened every other film. If you weren't Sing or Rogue One, you got squashed.
It got hit really bad because his budget was also about 150. It's right now, I don't know if it's still on theaters, but right now it has a gross, or is made 188. So that means it's definitely taking a loss right now.
Yeah, no, they did not do, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
as much as I could.
Yes,
as someone who's actually followed the video games.
As much as I could.
No, because I think as much as I could. I think in regards to, because I have to look at it from two perspectives.
Yeah,
one, as a video game movie.
Yeah,
its source material is a video game.
Yeah.
Two, as a movie in itself.
Yes.
And certain things they could have done better. Not every movie is perfect.
Yeah. I know one of the biggest complaints about Assassin's Creed was why did they not use Desmond Miles' character in the movie?
Yeah, I could have seen that, but if you keep up, and spoilers if you're not aware, I think as of right now in the game where it is, Desmond Miles is dead.
Okay.
I think he's actually dead. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's dead. So if they were running canon, it would have to take place from the beginning.
Yeah.
It would have been great if they could. There's pros and cons to that. Really quickly, because I know we're running over
no worries.
Time. Pros is it's a classic character, the one that we grew up to love and watch and play as. Two, if you followed the game and you put it on film directly as is, we've already played the game.
Yeah.
We've already played the game. You're basically paying money to see a game. Basically, someone else the director played the game and put it on film.
Yeah.
We've already played the game. We know exactly what happens. Yes, would it be nice to have actors do it? I mean, but voice actors do a hell of a job and bring out those characters in a video game.
Yeah.
Having it done like scene for scene, word for word, move by move, it doesn't make sense. From a movie's perspective, for movie nerds, yes, it's frustrating, but it does not make sense. Because if we saw that happen, we would be like, I already knew what happened. There's no surprise.
Can I make a counter argument to that?
Absolutely.
Really quick?
Devil's advocate.
My counter argument would be, what about people that read books that turn to movies and they still enjoy them? And I actually love movies.
That's hard.
That's sort of different, though. Because
I understand that you play more with your imagination from creating it from book to the movie.
Because the thing is, what I think he's getting at is that when you bring a video game to the movie,
it's already a visual medium.
Yeah,
you've seen it.
Visual medium. Basically, all you're really losing from playing the video game to watching the movie is the interaction.
You can't control nothing.
So it's got to have a great story to pull you in. If you're not going to have that interaction,
and it has to be, I think, well executed. Which, unfortunately, I don't think until we finally get a Halo movie. Mm-hmm. Which
you think Halo's going to be the one that breaks it?
I have faith. I have faith.
I know which one broke it for me.
If and when
well, I know which one. I do believe there is a good video game movie that's already been produced. I do believe that.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know.
Silent Hill.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Oh
you
my!
have to watch it.
Silent Hill.
Was it good?
It's
was good.
good. It's to the story. It stays to the source material of the and the ideology of Silent Hill, and it's beautifully done.
Was it playing from one of the video game characters, or was it a new?
They use families from the video game, and there's a lot of
So they reference, but they're using someone new.
but they're using every aspect that makes Silent Hill is referenced in this game.
Did they do Silent Hill? Did they do a lot of monsters from Silent Hill 2, like Pyramid Head and stuff?
Oh yes, and came out wonderful.
Really?
Wonderful.
The thing
That's
is,
interesting though, because again, for those of you who don't know, Silent Hill 2 is none of it's real.
Yes.
None of it is real. The whole game is based off a man who killed his wife, who his mind, through extreme guilt, and God forbid anyone goes through this in real life. If you do have this, you have some problems and you go to see a psychiatrist. The man's mind creates an entire world, Silent Hill world, where all these creatures are different forms of his guilt, and then he finds out, oh, it was me. I killed my wife. None of this was real. It was basically his mind punishing himself.
Yeah. It's the reason I love the movie, and it's the reason why.
So they played that off well.
They played it off so well that you're
really,
creating
really
your own personal hell. That you're creating. It's so well done, and it's sad because I don't think the movie gets enough credit for being a really good game, and maybe because people don't consider Silent Hill, they consider I don't know if they don't consider it a video game. I hear that a lot, that people don't consider Silent Hill.
Of course it's a video
more
game.
of like a playable story is what people describe it as.
Those are still video games?
Yes.
I mean, if you want to put it that way, then anything with a good story is a playable story.
No, I know.
You know,
But
there's even games like Persona, which still have some kind of action, but it's basically an anime, and it has anime clips. It's like a show and a playable version. Half of the game is you go to school and you learn and you build relationships.
Yeah.
It's like Another Life, but it's still credited as one of the best games ever made. The Persona series. I've seen it. I haven't played it. I've seen it, and it's good. So I can't. That argument in itself is invalid. I'm sorry.
So back to the point at hand. And the last movie that came out last year that was a video game movie was Ratchet and Clank, and it's already out on Netflix.
There's a Ratchet and Clank.
There's a Ratchet and Clank movie came out already, and it's on
I
Netflix
forgot that
already.
even happened.
I think Sylvester Stallone does one of the voices in the movie. If I'm correct.
To be honest with you, I'm gonna have to commend you on remembering that.
Yeah.
No, I just saw it on
forgot.
Netflix. That's the only reason.
I was going to commend you for even knowing, because I'm on Netflix and I haven't seen that. So,
So my argument now, not my argument, my point, my question is now: can any video game movie truly succeed outside of having a huge fan base? Because I understand that Resident Evil continuously pumps out these movies
Fast and
every
Furious.
year.
Yeah, Alex, that's a very good
And
comparison,
yes,
by the way.
they did go Fast and Furious with
Resident Evil series.
Yeah. And granted, that's congratulations to Mila Jovovich and Paul W.S. Anderson for continuously running that project. And they're making money over the handful.
Horse.
What?
They're beating a dead zombie horse.
They are
and trying to
beating a
bring
little
it to
horse.
life.
And hopefully it's the last one. God,
I
please don't
hope
be the
so.
last one.
Well, it's called the final chapter.
Yeah, but it could be like the final chapter of this book.
Did we get a Leon by any chance?
I
I
don't
heard
know.
Leon, not in this one, but in the previous one.
I don't remember.
There's
I remember there was a Wesker.
No, there is a Wesker. He's still alive.
There are certain
in the
movies that
movies.
I missed. I saw up until the fourth movie.
Yeah.
I saw up until the fourth movie. This is the seventh.
This will be the seventh, I believe. Yes.
So I'm missing 5 and 6. Those who haven't seen, and as a fan, I need to watch because one of them has Ada Wong in it, and I need to see Ada because I love Leon and I need to see Ada. But I have to watch them regardless. I'm probably going to see it at some point when it comes out.
Definitely. So what was I gonna bring up now? So do you feel like there could be actual video game success in the box office sooner or later, or do you think it's just gonna...
video game?
I mean, the thing is that I'll put it like this: superhero movies back in the '90s and early 2000s were not taken seriously.
Okay.
They were done just as a cash cow.
Yes.
Like for example, Howard the Duck.
Okay.
The first Captain America. I'm talking about the 1980s.
Yes, I remember.
Punisher.
The Punisher.
Dolph
Lundgren.
And the one with Thomas Jane.
Yeah.
It was still serious, but not like
It was
as
more.
serious.
It was more
But-
modern, leaning
and then
towards.
It's
like
not,
the later
it's
Batmans.
nothing like the Daredevil Punisher. Like
Yeah,
that's how it should be portrayed.
Yeah.
The first Hulk.
Yeah.
So now
Judge
that
Dredd. Judge Dredd.
Judge
which
Dredd.
is no Judge Dredd. I think that's on Netflix. I believe
old
it's
one or new one.
the Stallone.
Oh, it probably is. Yeah, I remember I've seen it recently, but
point is that they're not taken seriously. So I'm thinking that video game movies are not being taken seriously. Oh. You know,
either by the directors or
because you know they're like, oh, whatever, we got the video game to just get the story from. No, man, you got to make your own freaking story.
Well, this is my concern because,
like, for example, Civil War.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, we don't have all the rights to all the characters and shit like that, but either way, they still made a very compelling story, even though it didn't have the exact story that it did in the comic book.
Okay.
So, and on top of that, even though the comic book really didn't have sort of like an overarching storyline that it had, this one did. So it had like the Civil War going on. It had like the
plot points.
Like all everything that ever happened in the Avengers and Captain America, and like everything affected this story. You know, so it's not it. It was a very compelling story. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
I think there's source material, and there's no reason that a video game movie shouldn't, unless it was just like one of those Blood Rain in itself. I don't think Blood Rain could ever be a good movie, in my opinion. I don't think that was his purpose.
So I was going all the way back to the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
There was a Blood Rain movie with Ben Kingsley in it.
Yeah, no.
God bless Ben Kingsley. You do some crap movies.
I'm sorry, but like I think he's like that's like Nicolas Cage right now is going through hell and like going crappy movie after crappy movie.
Well, I mean,
he has to make money. He has to keep the lights on. So
I guess so.
Well, I mean,
he's an actor.
Let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. Blade was a good movie. It had sort of the same material, sort of the same story. Why can't they do Blood Rain like that?
I guess. I don't know. I just feel like, but at least Blade has is comic. There's backstory. There's enough source material there to make, to base off. Blood Rain is a video game, which in itself does not have that much story. All you know is that to get enough story, it had to traverse 2 games.
Yeah.
Because the first one that had nothing to do with her personal life, she was chasing down Nazis and killing them. Yeah. That was basically it. The only time you actually really got to the root of her story was the second game, which took me years to finally play, and I finally played it. But I don't know if that game, again, certain games were obviously not meant or cannot, or it'd be extremely difficult to make a movie out of. But for the most part, there's a good chunk that have really good games that have enough source material. You could make an amazing movie.
I'm just afraid because Warcraft had decent source material, Assassins had decent source material. A lot of those video games had decent source material, and they keep not hitting with audiences. And I don't know if it's that it's coming out against huger movies like Rogue One, or
I think timing is another thing.
I think timing is a thing. I think if they came out this summer, for example, this summer was really bad for movies because Civil War was in April or May. No, it was really really early.
When Civil War got released, there was Alvin and the Chipmunks or something like that.
Yeah.
And there was memes online like the fight of the weekend. Civil War versus Alvin and the Chipmunks. Let's see who basically they're comparing it like a grown man beating a baby.
God, decimating him.
Don't you ever step in my territory again,
decimate.
I get afraid, and the reason why I get afraid and I have this fear is because there are great games out there that have great content.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
That I'm afraid that the production value is not going to be there because of the past failures of all these video games. Of course, movies.
Which wouldn't happen if they took it serious. Take it seriously.
Please. And stick to source content. And even if you have to go verbatim the video game, I understand your argument you're making earlier.
Yeah, but if you have to, because you obviously can't make a new story and be successful. So let's...
Last of Us, do verbatim the video game. I wouldn't mind.
That would be amazing.
Right? Yeah. BioShock, go verbatim the video game.
The fucking God of War. Boom.
Yes.
You even have the camera angles and everything.
Yes. I don't care. If you even... just do that, guys. I'm just tired of...
If you can't make... I agree. In that regard, They shouldn't. But if you guys can't succeed in making your own stories with enough source material, then screw it. Why don't you replicate it as of right now until you guys can figure, get your hat on straight and then figure out what it is you need to do to make a good movie on your own without copying and stuff.
So hopefully this future will change for video gaming. As far as we know, video gaming is still making money, and we're still all playing video games. If it's Pokemon Go, if it's the new Legend of Zelda, if it's Last of Us 2, I mean, video games are still going to be prevalent in our lives. Even your Candy Crushers out there, it's still going to be prevalent. That's all we know.
You just reminded me, they made an Angry Birds movie.
And it did well. Actually, you know what? Oh, my God. We did have the first successful video game movie this year. Angry Birds. Angry Birds.
How did it do?
A ton. Check it out. I know it made over 500 million. I know it made over 500 million.
Okay, so
maybe there is one successful.
Maybe I didn't watch
just
it.
Don't consider it successful.
I don't care for Angry Birds.
But someone check really quick as we talk about this. Well, guys, I think we're gonna start wrapping up really quick.
3.7 out of 5 stars on Google.
Okay, but what's the money? We need the monies, Alex. The monies.
I want to know about the monies.
So, guys, we're gonna be wrapping up really soon.
Oh, never mind. That's the app store.
We're going to be going. Oh my God, Alex!
How did I get here?
We're just to give you guys some updates. We are going to be going to a bunch of conventions. We're actually have tables at conventions. This is probably going to be the first time that we're openly getting invited to conventions that way. We're going to be in March and in April. We're going to be at Hero Hype Con at both Orlando and Miami. So check us out there. Remember to check out Hero Hype Con at herohypecon.com or at their social media at Hero Hype Con. Alex, of course, is going to hopefully be starting his car video blog sooner or later.
Yeah,
which actually, by the way, Alex, thank you for letting me borrow the 360 camera. I took some really cool 360
you're welcome. I haven't
video.
been able to do my car video thing for a while.
I'm sorry. So Alex will be doing that soon.
You should get back at him in GoldenEye.
All right, check it out.
Okay. We got information.
Angry Birds.
Angry Birds. What was the production value? What was the budget?
Hold up. Before that, Angry Birds. On IMDb, it's rated at 6.3 out of 10.
Okay.
Metascore is 43 out of 100.
Okay, that's better than both Assassins and Warcraft.
Yeah.
So.
And then budget was estimated.
Okay.
Air quotes at 73 million.
So that means like 150.
And check this out. This is gross was 107 million.
That's it? That's all his gross was. Is that just U.S. or international?
Actually, no, that's just U.S.
Yeah, that's worldwide.
Okay, so wait. God damn it. Get the information.
Hold on. I'm trying. I'm looking, man. I'm looking.
Oh,
you got a fast phone, son. What's wrong
Come on. So, Parker, you have a social media following, and I know you were writing a book a while ago. I don't know if
Stop it.
Okay,
I haven't.
Okay, if you don't want me to talk about it, I won't talk about it
I'm too busy to write this dang story. I got a million other things in my brain.
Right.
Eventually, hopefully, at some point, I can get back on it. The problem is it's time. You just need to resort. You need to really invest some time. That's like a baby.
Yeah.
And I'm not ready to have babies.
So where can the nice listeners find you if they want to find you? Or do you not want to find
us online? It's whatever.
Okay.
They find me. They're not a big deal.
No worries. So, guys, if you have any questions or you have any topics you want us to talk about, please email us at cosplayfame@gmail.com. Again, that's cosplayfame@gmail.com. We would love to discuss things with you. Actually, if there are any Arizona cosplayers out there or any people who are into the Arizona convention community, we would really love to hear your opinion on the recent situations that have been going on with Phoenix Comic-Con. So please email us at cosplayfame@gmail.com. Alex, go ahead. You have the information.
I have the information.
Okay. You want drum roll? Let's go drum roll. Everyone.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Okay, so 73 million. For the budget.
Okay.
The gross profit worldwide.
Yeah.
350 million.
Damn.
So it actually, it was successful.
Pretty good.
It actually did probably double its budget. That's good. Okay, so maybe there was a really successful video. And I heard it's actually not that bad. I've heard the Angry Birds movie is not that bad.
Yeah, Bill Hader in it.
Yeah, Jason Sudeikis.
It's Angry Birds. Really?
Alex, man, if we got to get one through, we're going to get one through, okay?
And on that note.
Wait, hold on.
Alex,
phone.
come on.
Let it go.
How did a movie come out from a game that literally has no story?
They made a story, Alex.
That's perfect because that actually gives them the most creative like freedom.
Control, and they can move around with stuff.
But it has... You launch a bird into some pigs. That's it.
You make it sound like a sexual position. Larger bird, some pigs.
That's it.
Now, next position is Angry Bird.
Whatever.
You wait in the bed. I'll just run. I get a head start from the hall, and then run and jump on top of you from the bed.
Jump in.
And just like
Get all oiled up for it. All right, guys. You can find us on social media at COSPLAYFAME. Later, guys. Thank you for listening. Bye. Oh, remember to rate and review, please. Rate and review. Bye.